Welcome back. Prince William wasted no time throwing himself into his two-day environmental trip stateside as he waded into the Hudson River yesterday looking for oysters. The Prince of Wales is in New York to promote his Earthshot Prize as the city holds its annual Climate Week. Joining me now, TalkTV's royal editor Sarah Hewson. There he is in his waders.
Waders and a life jacket, safety first.
With very good reason, because this is fascinating, actually, this oyster story.
This is really interesting. So this is a project in New York to try and restore the oyster reefs and the oyster beds in the Hudson River because of the water purifying qualities of oysters. So it's a project that uses students and volunteers to go and put these oysters back into the Hudson River and hopefully clean the water and improve water quality. And that is all in line with what Prince William is looking at about kind of optimistic solutions to the climate crisis.
So I found myself actually reading details about this because it was so interesting. And they're taking the oyster shells that are discarded in New York restaurants.
They go around restaurants.
And then growing new oysters in these shells.
Yes.
And apparently the oysters cluster,
yes,
which is exactly what they want them to do, and will, they hope, form new oyster reefs and then filter all the nastiness out of the water in the Hudson River.
And I found it fascinating as well because the Hudson River in the middle of Manhattan is not where you'd expect to be finding these oyster beds. So it really is fascinating, and it's one of the projects that he has wanted to look at. And we're going to be hearing more because he's kicking off right about now his Earthshot Innovation Summit, and all of the finalists that have been selected for the Earthshot Prize this year are coming up with those kind of solutions, whether it's air purification, whether it's water quality, trying to find a way in which we can all make a difference when it comes to climate change.
We're very keen on the ones which involve something or other, some organism eating plastic, aren't we? We like those.
Yes, and he's also very much about food and, you know, food miles, and about, he's done a lot of work with fast food restaurants and how they reduce their use of plastics, etc.
And that's definitely carrying on the baton originally waved by his own father, isn't it?
And his grandfather.
And his grandfather, absolutely. So it's you can tell that it's a passion project absolutely from the heart and soul.
Very much so. And I think what we're seeing with the royals now is very much more focused approach. And the engagements that they take on are all on a theme. And they're not this sort of scattergun approach, which is taking on every patronage that they might be offered. They're very much focused. So for William, homelessness, the environment and mental health are his key areas of concern, and that's really what we're seeing. And while he's in New York, as well as these meetings, he's getting the Earthshot finalists together with people like Jacinda Ardern, the former New Zealand Prime Minister, with Bill Gates, with Michael Bloomberg, the former mayor of New York. But he's also going to visit New York firefighters, and he's going to be talking to them. Last week he met builders, he met farmers, talking about mental health, and in New York he's going to carry on that work, and he's going to be talking to firefighters about the kind of pressures they find themselves under.
And I think it's quite important to contextualise all of this, because now to have a meeting and a huge summit about the environment, about the future, about global warming, about whatever it is, feels entirely natural, entirely normal, and exactly what should be going on. But when his father was originally broaching these topics, it seemed absolutely crackpot, totally eccentric, absolutely peculiar. It was the stuff of comedy for years, wasn't it? And so it does show a certain farsightedness on the part of the royal family.
It does, and you're right. The then Prince Charles was mocked for his views and derided for his views, and when he was talking about organic food, for example, and you'll remember when he was being the stuff of jokes for talking to his plants.
Of course I do, yeah.
But, you know, he's been vindicated in that, and he has shown that he was very much ahead of his time on those issues, and it is following on, and it really is a passion of the Prince of Wales now, the new Prince of Wales.